Yeah. 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 I don't think they liked my chicken tenderizer joke yesterday, or what I fantasized about. You know that thing I did about like 2 days ago where I just let the darkness take me as TikTok mentally raped me? And I said that I was like watching the, I was wondering if the audience was like jumping in on it or, you know, all that. I don't think they like that very much either. Last night when I usually like to relax, well, watch like a video, you know. And when I went to Pornhub last night, it was just like all animations. So like, I usually have this like hentai website that I go to, and I checked it to see like if there was anything new, and there was, and I figured there was like a conversation that was gonna happen through the animation, just because like I've been avoiding media like altogether outside of like the videos to relax, you know. Um, and so I didn't watch it yesterday. I didn't really want to. I don't like it. It was my time off, you know. Like I wanted to just not deal with the conversations. Like it's hard. It's hard enough to like watch a video, you know. Um, and yeah, so I went to I went back to Pornhub, and then I went to like XNXXX, whatever. I couldn't find anything. Like every single video just was not it. Like they all sucked. And I ended up just like I didn't even click on a video. I just like pressed and held it and like just let the GIFs play. And I pretended that like it was like a sweet moment, and I just did that, you know. Then I went to bed. And then this morning I was like thinking about it again. I was thinking about like what was that conversation like? Like what was it gonna be? Like, you know? And I went back to Haname, and I clicked on the video that I was assuming they wanted me to watch. And I watched it, and it was basically like a critique of what I did 2 nights ago, insofar as letting the darkness take me, allowing TikTok to mentally rape me, and it's kind of like a critique of like justice and what justice is, like the idea of like to instigate um, discord within a populace as opposed to just maintaining the system as it stands would be just ice, you know, like just ice, an ice age, a nothing changing, a, you know, in secrecy everything dies, you know. But at the same time, like I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. I think, if I'm being honest, I think I'm going to. I think today, after I'm done cooking, I'm going to talk about Hitler. I'm going to talk about, though no Jew will admit it, I think they do see him as some sort of like hero, martyr, something along those lines. Um, and I'm going to try to explain that. Um, but I'm hungry. My stomach is empty. I try going to the bathroom and my stomach, like, there's this weird thing that happens where like I can't go to the bathroom if my stomach is empty because like there's no, like, I don't know. Okay, it's weird, but I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna eat. I might go to the bathroom and then we'll talk about things. But yeah. I always get a little bit of joy whenever I see my dog laying down and she has a little bit of a smile on her face, like she's relaxed and content. She knows I was talking about her. Where's your brush? What's up? South America. like, is there a difference between performing something and getting some sort of like visceral joy out of it, or doing something because like it needs to be done, you know? And I think that's kind of like the point that I was trying to make 2 days ago. Is like, I don't know. And then do I get some sort of visceral joy out of performing, you know? Like in the in the in the hentai, um, there was one sex scene, and it was a rape scene, and I was trying to avoid that. You know, that's what I was trying to avoid. Um, and like there was a in the hentai there was a transformation scene, okay, and it was as the girl was as the woman was transforming, as the lady was transforming, um, as the bird was transforming, um, yeah, I didn't like that either. as the lady was transforming, um, like she was like putting on clothes, and then like there was like a brief moment in which like you can see her booty, and then it gets to like a skimpy like skirt. Okay. You know I'm gonna talk about it? Oh. Making my eyes water. Oh. Ah. That was way too many onions. Ah! You know, when I took my dog out today, um, there was like two geese. Like I heard some geese flying, and I didn't look up, and then I heard a crow, and I was like, noises again. So I looked up, and there was two geese flying, and I smiled because it was nice, you know. Um, and then I heard the crow again, and then there's this house that's like slightly dilapidated and is being rebuilt at the corner. And as I was walking my dog, this guy in all orange walks out. He walks to his car. It's like a black car, and then he walks to a white van, and he grabs a drill. I think that's where the noises have been coming from, and so far as like the oppression of the state and all that, like yesterday, that what I was talking about. I'm not exactly sure what all the symbolism means of my morning walk, but I feel like it was noteworthy. I think that's like kind of what triggered, because like I said, I was avoiding that video, and then that happened this morning, and I'm like, maybe I should watch it, just to see, like I said, I look at every single perspective, so it's hard for me to like get like the actual message be trying to be perceived, because I can see all of them. I don't know. This is so many onions. Yeah. And then my dad called me last night. I blocked him. I have my entire family blocked right now. But I think it was because I was kind of going on a tirade at the same time. I feel like I gained some secret insight in my sleep, and then I just lost it when I woke up. But like, it felt like I was dreaming and like figuring out like things, and then I woke up. I woke up to the train tracks. But I think I dreamed of a world where nobody had to die. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure. Um, and then I was thinking about Boy Cavalier, and I was thinking about weird things, okay? I was thinking about very, very, very weird things. I was thinking about this episode of the Joe Rogan podcast, where this is years ago, 2016 maybe, 2017. Anyways, um, he mentioned something in one of his podcasts where he said, "You ever wonder who runs the world? Like who like actually runs the world? Like behind the mask, like who runs the world?" And back then, I was thinking like, who does run the world? And that that didn't set me off on the path. Like I was already like on it, but like I got a little more curious. Like what's behind the veil. And I was thinking like in the context of like the audience, like the masses. Like, is it possible to peel that veil off and like show Boy Cavalier? I think that's what I was dreaming about. I'm not 100% sure, but like I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. It's vague. Like the song Truman Show by Kid Cudi. Like I imagine like someone just like listening to that song and being like, "Yo, excuse me, who's Truman Show?" You know? Um, Why are you freezing my eggs? Nice. Just there. The spatula thing is like the greatest invention of kitchenware ever. I was thinking about that last night. Thought I should mention it. So I think gifting gets restricted anytime that I don't share my thoughts. It's like saying like you guys aren't going to hear my thoughts anymore, which is a little frustrating because sometimes I just want to be in my head, you know? Well, within myself, not just my head. Like, you know what I mean? I was wondering where she was. That's funny. That's really funny. Why is it that I say things I don't like? What is that about? What does it mean for something to be in right now? Like, I was thinking about the show Inside Jobs and Akira, and the guy saying, the girl saying, "Of course I've seen it. Anime is very in right now." What does it mean for something to be in? Like trends, all that stuff. Like, I keep thinking about Billy Piper, I think her name is, Bad Wolf from Doctor Who. When she reincarnated as the Doctor this last season, I was so taken aback. I was like, "What in the world?" And then in Ironheart, when Mephisto offers to bring back someone that had previously passed away, um, it was kind of like an exposition on whether something should be brought back to life, you know? And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the where I am and Boy Cavalier and the way media has depicted me over the last few years, well, my entire life, but over the last few years, just me coming to terms with it and all this kind of stuff. Um, Outside of the antagonism, pretending the antagonism isn't there for a second. Um, just yeah, I don't know. Like I said, like I was having a dream and I was trying to like think of like ways people won't die. You know, like I don't know. I don't know. It's I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't know what it is. It's just my life. I guess maybe I don't know. This is gonna sploosh everywhere. Like last year, I found out my role within the organization and began to learn pretty much everything about it outside of the human trafficking. Um, So like, and it's like we agree on like 99% of everything. Is just the human trafficking is the thing that like the show Friends. I figured like it might be like a good way to like learn the language. And the like one of the first few episodes, like they make a joke about cutting people's feet off, you know. And that's I stopped watching it after that, you know. So nothing. Mm. Oh. I left the rag there. Mm. You know, I remember last year um, when I found out like how deep it was insofar as like the community level and everything. I started talking to my wife, messaging her. Well, I was trying to talk to her. Um, and I had messaged her like one night, like the last night that we spoke. I had messaged her one night, and she didn't respond. I figured it was late where she lived. Um, and then I was using Disney Plus to learn the language. So I basically called Disney my therapist. Um, the wallpapers on my computer would like give me messages. So like I consider them. I called the wallpapers my lawyer. Like whoever controlled my computer, I called that my lawyer, and I would call Disney Plus my therapist. And there was one night where I had messaged my wife, I missed her, and nothing like after I messaged her, I went to Disney Plus and I um, like nothing would play, nothing would play, and there was one show that I had been avoiding for a really long time just because I knew what it was and I was just like trying to avoid it. Okay, it's called Pets, and nothing would play at all. Like usually like there's like recommended, like that goes on there. I would click on one, wouldn't play. Click on the other, wouldn't play. But Pets was there, and I was avoiding that one. But then I clicked it, and it basically gave an explanation on the way uh, the way we are all viewed insofar as like animals, and then the concept of pets, what it means to have a pet, insofar as within the religious structure of the organization, a pet is someone that, in essence, is human trafficked. Um, um, so that entire show is like an exposition on animals. I don't like this um, explanation, but so I was watching it, and there was one part at the end of it where it said something along the lines of how cats should be free and they shouldn't be like forced into a cage. And as soon as that line hit, she messaged me, and it kind of like made me. It put me face to face with a choice. Like I had to like either say, "Okay, I'll leave you alone," or continue on. And in the terms of like me like learning everything about the organization, I chose to continue learning. I chose to find let her not be tied down to me. In doing so, I wonder, did I choose human trafficking over the love of my wife? Um, I mean, like now I can share everything. I can tell you guys everything that I've learned. I don't have my wife. So I hope you guys are happy with the information. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And the concept of pets, the differentiation of species, and all that kind of stuff. But like, does feeling have a species? You know, sometimes I cuddle with my dog, and I feel like she herself releases a lot of like stress that she carries. You know, differentiation of species is something that I think is bred within. I don't know. This is way too much avocado. Oh, look, a heartbeat. I farted. I need to use the restroom. What's up, Mix? What's up? Stop. Should I? Stop. I feel like I should. Do I want to? At this point? Gifting suspended. Wow. Okay. Bathroom is a gift. Okay. I'm gonna freak out. I have to go to the bathroom so bad, dude. Ugh. Okay, you know what? Yeah, you guys are gonna have to deal with this. Because I have to, and everybody else in this organization has to. However, it's just like that. Sure. Like, imagine. Whatever. Okay. Can I just block all? Yeah, okay. This is. Hello. The thing is, I'm stressing out over you guys watching me, but like they're looking at my butthole right now. Oh. That's not. Okay, alright. I'm gonna turn it off for like a second just because I need to focus and I can't with you guys here. But it's like, if I do this, I'm still live. That's so frustrating. Maybe I just Okay, I'm gonna lay you guys down for a second, just like this. Just pretend you're watching. I used to just sit here for like half an hour, 40 minutes. You know, every time that I've found out that I'm being watched, I've always freaked out, and I've always had a very shy bladder. So when I broke the fourth wall in 2023, going into 2024, um, I started stressing out about going to the bathroom because they were watching me. And then going into 2025, when I learned about the community level, I was like, oh, I'm being watched by a lot more people than I thought, not just the CIA. And then I got shy bladder once again. And it took me a long time. And now this year, 2026, I'm pooping on stream. So cool. I got shy like halfway through and I still feel like I have to go. You know what I was thinking about? Blender. Like I was looking at my tiles just now, and looking at the corners, and I remember this one guy, the guy that like builds Blender donuts all the time. I don't remember his name, but he said something along the lines of there were no sharp corners in nature, and it makes me wonder because like even if like even like a needle from a cactus, you know, you look at it close enough like that, it still has like some sort of rounded edge, you know, which is interesting. And then I started thinking about the concept of Blender in and of itself. Um, I read somewhere once that like instead of like learning how to operate Blender, you should take sculpting classes and then use Blender as a medium for the sculpting or whatever have you. You know, learning the system itself without learning the art behind it is, I think, something interesting. Oh, my stomach, man. Oh, pain. Hello. I still feel like I have to go to the bathroom. Better. I'm gonna go to the living room. Your stomach hurts. What's up, mix? What's up? What are you doing? Lay down, Fergus. Lay down. Lay down. Oh! Gifting suspended once again. This behavior is not in line with our policies. I'm sorry for my behavior. I apologize. I've done so much wrong in this world. Okay. You know, I've said in the past that everything is a capitulation towards nature. A lot of times when I'm saying that, it feels like because I am of the position that I'm in, when I say it's capitulation towards nature, a lot of times I feel like it's a capitulation towards me and I become the nature or I become the, you know, um, like that video that I watched this morning. The critique of myself was that I am the capitulation towards nature in some sense, you know, and like in terms of like justice, let's say just ice. Um, in my in everything that I've explained in the past few videos, and so far as in the last few days, and so far as like me watching explicit videos, but trying to find something that isn't human trafficking, um, kind of like pushes it by the wayside and makes it so that we're not paying attention to that, and I think that's part of my complicity within the human trafficking. Um, there's also, you know, like deep dark desires within myself, um, but you know, like in talking about this and talking about everything that I'm talking about, um, like I said the other day, like I become the head of this movement or this organization or this, like if we're like if we talk about pets, if we talk about my wife, if we talk about the subjugation of nature or back in 2006, my family was not perfect, but happy, you know? And then once I got crowned, everything it got turned upside down. Family life became strained, and I began to not believe in marriage, you know? Because why would anybody stay in a loveless marriage? Um, and when I think about like concepts like my wife and the anarchy of life as it stands today and all of these things, in some sense, like I'm made to feel bad for wanting to give some order to the world in some sense. Um, but in doing so and bringing about that order, it's more subjugation towards the system. Like it's so complicated because like the current anarchy of the system as it stands breeds the state of the world as it stands today, and then it just like it like it's an echo chamber of the same thing over and over and over again. And then anybody that tries to like change it, anybody that tries to like be like, hey, you know, we're kind of like veering off the path here, um, then it's a strange thing to balance. Like there is a part of me that views the world as like my Truman Show, you know, like I don't know. I'm sick of apologizing for who I am, honestly. Um, that video that I saw is like it's nothing new. Like we all know what things are, you know. And I do like if a secret gets brought to my attention, I will bring it to light as best as I can. Um, but I am tired of getting picked apart for things we all know. That is getting frustrating. Um, hmm. last night, um, when I was like streaming, I don't even know if I was still streaming when I said this because they shut me off. But I was like, um, this thing keeps playing in my head. Those who are patient get rewarded. Those who wait get rewarded. Something along those lines. And I was like, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? And then my mom came home and she locked herself in her room. And then I freaked out again, and then she left. Um, and then when then after that, once the live ended, I just didn't turn it off. And again, I was really frustrated with the fact that it got turned off, and it kind of like put me face to face with like something that really frustrated me. Like, I'm speaking to what I think is an audience, And then yesterday they shut off my stream, and then I was just speaking to the cameras. Like I was just speaking to the organization, and it frustrated me. It was like it put something into perspective, and I can't really name it right now, but like it's like me being on this live allows me to be able to say things without the language muddying everything as far as best as I can, there is subtext within me that just thrives, but yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about the like it, to be streaming, like right now I'm technically like just talking to the audience, like I'm not, there's nobody here outside of me. But yeah, anyways, that was a little tangent. So I was like, what am I waiting for? And then my mom came home and she locked herself in a room. And then she left, and I didn't turn my stream back on, and I was just kind of sitting there. And then someone knocked on my door, and my dog barked, and I went to go see what was over there, and there was like a white package that was just like there. And I didn't touch it because it was my mother's, but it was just there, and it was on my mind, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about like the power of the organization, and like the whole Wayfair thing that was happening a few years ago, and packages being delivered and all that kind of stuff. And I was in my room and I was just like thinking about it, and I got turned on a little bit, and I stopped, and I got turned on a little bit, and I stopped. And then I went to bed, and I tried to find a video that reminded me of my wife. And that's when the animation, like everything was animations, and that's when I went to the anime site, and I didn't watch it because I didn't want to deal with it. And then I checked it out this morning. There are things um, like I said, there are things inside of myself that like I'm trying to bring them to light. I'm trying to talk about them, like these are things within, I think, all of us, that carnal, that primal, um, but it's frustrating because like I said, like I try not to think about it and I try to just go about my day. And then when I take my dog out, there's geese, two geese flying, and then a crow in the background just cawing, and that's like bad omens. So like while I'm focusing on my wife, atrocities happen because I refuse to talk about the things that like breed a system, Um, yeah. How many restrictions do I have right now? So far, I've counted 3. On the concept of pets, I think this might be a good one to talk about. Um, that thing I was talking about earlier about feeling, you know. Well, I've been like cuddling with her, I've been like allowing her to like feel herself, feel alive. And I think this is a good explanation on like why I am weary of the idea of pets, or like just the human trafficking and the 3D printing and the all of it. Um, so like I'll try to like get her to like feel alive, and I'll try to make her feel connected. And she'll get like really excited, and like she'll just like start thrashing around without like knowing how to process it, you know. And I think about that chandelier video, and I think about like how someone put in that situation would act, you know, to be reduced down to that. Um, like yesterday, like I tried to teach her about like the softness of just like experiencing and just connection, without all the thrashing and there's this one comedic bit from Andrew Schultz where he speaks about this one time where he was sleeping with someone who had both of their hands cut off. And as he was sleeping with this person, I'm assuming raping them, the person with no hands just started like banging at herself. And when we're talking about pets, the dehumanization of like I've spent my life trying to get people to understand that they're more than pets, you know, to realize that there's more to life than just this illusion, you know. And then coming into the organization to see that they view the entire world like that is, I mean, and to some extent, like me too. I've always compared people to monkeys. You know, like just I find the psychology of monkeys fascinating. Um, so like there is that as well. But I just, oy, 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 oy. Like most of last year was them making fun of me for trying to send chickens into space, which chickens being a metaphor for people. But then also, if you go into space, aliens will probe you. So maybe don't do that. Okay, you will get probed by aliens. I think of like I don't know if I brought this up before, but like the concept of YOLO, you only live once. Like that ideology leads to recklessness. I feel like without a proper message leads to recklessness, and it leads to people trying to go out into space and then getting abducted and probed and all that kind of stuff, which technically happened to me in some sense. Like I willingly went. They accepted me with open arms. I've been probed my entire life, and now I'm king. Maybe, possibly, I'm not sure, but terrifying, absolutely terrifying. You know what I keep thinking about? I keep thinking about that one thing that Trump said last year. He's like, I work too much to be king. Like I wake up, like literally, this is all day. It's this. Yeah. I think after that last video that I watched, the last meeting, I think I may be done with going to meetings. It's not for sure, but like I said, like, we're all just repeating the same thing over and over again. We already know what it is, so I'm tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. If it's not something new, I'm not really interested in it. It might be interesting to kind of go over that video and just kind of like, because they know every single like little deep dark part of myself, might be fun to like go through that video and be like, okay, this is what this is, this is what this is, this is what this is. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna hear it from them, so I mean, once again, it has been restricted. Alrighty, we are up to 4 restrictions. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay down and just let the restrictions wash over me. I still feel like I have to go to the bathroom. My stomach hurts. Last year I stayed mostly um, learning about the. I stayed mostly on Disney Plus, talking to my therapist, learning about the org, all that stuff. But before that, 2024, 23, 22, 21, I spent most of that time just talking to people, just playing around, hanging out, dictating the course of the world, unbeknownst to me. I kind of miss that a little bit. I miss being able to like go and joke around with people and all that. Like I remember during COVID, um, I like wasn't listening to the COVID rules, like the lockdown rules. I went to go visit my brother and my his wife and my godchildren. And after that, there was a article that came out wherein like celebrities were like going to like house parties and stuff. And then I remember this one video that came out where a whole bunch of celebrities were like singing "Imagine" by the Beatles, I think. Um, and I was thinking about that in the context of like getting people to wake up. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier today, insofar as like placing yourself in the crosshairs of the world to get them to see. I don't know. That fridge keeps turning on anytime that stop heating up the world. And I had a frozen egg this morning, so that's great. I love that. Like I love that every single thing that I do affects something. It's my favorite thing in the world, honestly. You know what I was thinking about? Mm. I was thinking about how I don't want to be talking all the time. You know what I was thinking about? The show Light and Magic. When I first saw that, I didn't understand the language. And the second time I saw that, I did understand the language and I died. But then I think about the concept of like the name of it, Light and Magic, and what magic is. And then at the end of that show, the second season, at the end of that show, the Lucasfilms like shuts down, which is like the home for Star Wars. I don't know. Is the Tower of Babel of tearing down of that language and equalizing everything? I had a second part to that, but I lost it. Like was that show an exposition of the Tower of Babel, in which the shackling of the language makes it so that you are no longer able to see the light and magic because in darkness the light dies. Who knows? My stomach is killing me right now. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes I wonder what would happen if people found out about me. Like outside of like me saying that I'm shackled and all that kind of stuff. Like to find out like there's an organization and there's like a person that like dictates the world. Like I just like in my head I was just imagining like this entire town being surrounded by people trying to get at me. Like I was thinking about like showing people like how I view the world, and that third episode of Ironheart where he's like in his like taking care of his mushrooms and his plants and like just everything being pristine. And then I remember this Stanley Tucci show that also came out last year, um, where like they were talking about like the future of the world and like how like everybody would be able to be like taken care of, as far as like food goes and everything. And I was just thinking like if someone were to find out that like there's someone that is like orchestrating the world. What's the date today? Well, not the day. What day is it? Um, is it Tuesday? Wednesday? I'm gonna say Tuesday. I think. There are things I do for you guys, and there are things I do for me. If that makes sense. Like right now, I'm talking about like me orchestrating and me, being king of the world and all that stuff. And at the same time, I speak about communism and the human trafficking and all that. Things that like I don't necessarily like enjoy talking about, but need to be talked about, And yeah, trying to find the balance between those two things. You know, this world is so confining. Like back when I was, how old am I now? 31. We're in 2026. So through 6 years ago was 25. Back when I was like 23, 24, I asked this like 17-year-old out on a date and she called me a pedophile. And like, how would I even begin to just, like, it, I'm just gonna leave that as it is, okay? I'm not gonna. You guys can interpret that however you want, but that's that point stands by itself, okay? And that may be my own capitulation towards nature, but I'm not, I don't think so. It's like we've locked ourselves within ourselves. Yeah. Why are there crows? So many crows. There's a clock right there, and I keep looking at the time. I'm not really paying attention to it, but then it changes from 1 minute to the next. I'm like, oh, look what time it is. And I'm like, great, numbers. So, like, going back to that whole thing about like instigating and like, like that being kind of like a necessary evil of sorts. Like, where's the line in that? Where's the line in the instigation where like I was thinking about when I came on a TikTok earlier today. The first video that showed up was "Oh, the irony," because of the video that I had just watched, in which they call me out for everything that everybody already knows. And I was wondering, like at what point, like anybody that is like trying to accept themselves for themselves, that sees something like that, like at what point is that like not conducive to what we're trying to build, you know? However, I do think that video is actually pretty good for people to watch. I'll get you guys the name of it later. It came out this year though. You know, this year I said it'll be Jews going up against Jews. Yesterday I said that. Last year I said it'll be pedophiles going up against pedophiles. Well, speaking about myself, you know, like in the context of learning the language and everything. Like I was trying to like show the ridiculousness of like me speaking about these things. Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not even gonna try. But it's a hard thing to do to try to wake up the world as you're shackled. I keep hearing someone backing up. Am I going backwards? Is that what you're telling me? Well, at least I haven't heard any airplanes, okay? At least my heads aren't in the clouds. At least I'm like here. Is it the garbage truck? It's the garbage truck. I think it's the garbage truck. It's probably it's Tuesday, isn't it? Maybe Tuesday. I refuse to check. I thought I heard an airplane. There's a general pain in my chest whenever I speak about things that make me very uncomfortable. I think they need to be talked about. They don't need to be talked about. I'm gonna talk about everything. I don't like secrets. I don't like secrets. How long have I been on here for? Too long, that's for sure. Can someone just like wrap me up in a ball of warmth? That's all I want. Just warmness. I was thinking about the airplane and how I was worried about it when I thought I heard one. And I was wondering about why, and I was like, because I want to be grounded. I want to make sure that I'm not in the clouds whilst orchestrating everything. Eh. And I wasn't sharing that, so there was a motorcycle outside. Because I don't like motorcycles. Because they're death traps. But to be fair, I don't like noise. I think all cars should be electric. I mean, there is definitely use cases for um, that's actually that I got from Alexis and Dean. They're the ones that said that there's definitely use cases for gas powered cars. You know, the last time I saw them, um, I think they were like trying to like send me a message, and because I was so lost in the sauce of being with my head being up in the clouds that I just wasn't listening. Um, I was thinking about that the other day. You know what I was thinking about? Um, Last year when last 2 months beginning in the beginning in the beginning of the year, when I was going on my tirade, I mentioned the the Dow Jones Industrial, and the day after that, they wrote an article saying the uncoolest of the I don't know what to call them, I forget, has its moment in the sun. And I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about my cycles of antagonism and lack thereof, and um, yeah. There's the beeping again. What is that beeping? Why am I backing up? What is happening? Every time I open my mouth, that garbage truck is going to get closer and closer and closer. See, nobody ever seems to be happy with the things I want to talk about. Ever. Ever. Like, it's always this or that or this or that or this or that. And it's just like, you're upsetting. You're an upsetting non-person. You're an upsetting person. Oh. Yeah, I know. It just feels like I get antagonized on purpose and I don't like it. I literally told you guys that I miss talking to people. And I'm talking about the people, and then I get backing up, and then I get upset about the backing up. Then I'm like, why are you antagonizing me? And then the train blares. So, like, My stomach hurts. Seriously though, my intestines feel like they're on fire right now. Water. Water. Get over it. Yes. Okay. You guys ever heard of a Deus Volt? I didn't. I hadn't. But I really like that concept. Like I started using metallic or just like reusable bottles just so that I wasn't like wasting a whole bunch of plastic, over and over and over again. And I went to Ian's stream once last year, and he also had a metallic, a reusable water bottle, and someone in chat had mentioned how it was different because he usually had like a giant like plastic jug, and he basically said, I don't remember what he said, but he used the term Deus Volt, and I looked it up, and it means God's will. Like I think of him saying that. I think of Stephen saying, "I am a god." Like all these little things. It's like I not I wouldn't say I grew up with them, but like I kind of did. Like Dylan too. They like all three of them. They were my three guys. Haas for a little while, but those three were like my main people that I would interact with, I think. Um, yeah, and then like initially, and then it like spread out into everybody. But All right, I'll shut up now. I'll shut up. Like, listen, all I'm saying is I have a list of everybody that's like helped me or that I grew up with. That's like been a part. I have many lists. Okay, I have many lists about many things. The listing was mostly for your guys' thing. I just have a cloud of people in my head. You know what it is? It's like a backpack. That was so funny. No one. Like I remember one of the few times that like I don't think I ever got like Ian to like laugh, but outside of like him pretending. But there was one time where I actually like got him to like chuckle, like guffaw, you know. Um, it was like in 22. Um, I was going no, end of 22, early 23, sometime around there. Um, I was having women troubles, and I was complaining, and we were like going back and forth, and I wrote this like line down in the chat, and I was like, maybe that's why I keep getting cucked with like a little like a straight face, and he read that and he laughed, just like you know like he didn't even think about it, like he couldn't help it, you know. I like that so much, like it's just like I don't know, okay, I don't know. Why am I talking about these things? Oh yes, because my divine purpose has been elucidated to me by an enigmatic deity that and suicidal. And 2 days. Oh, and my head is up in the clouds, that's why. There's the airplane. There's the airplane.
All right, guys. So we need to destroy the entire system, and that's what we need to do. And we need to violent, violent, violent revolution, bloody, just blood splattering, like we need the entire world covered in an inch of blood. That's what we need. And full disclosure, Ian was, for me, the face of the CIA for a long time. Well, also Dylan, because literally his last name is Burns. You know what it's like to go to place to place to place and not every single time just be told no, this is not it. It's like your destiny is this small, tiny little. My fridge just turned on and it's knocking at me to talk. All right, I think I'm done for today. You guys have a good night.